Barack Obama never left office. He's been running his third term through Joe Biden for the past 4 years, controlling every major decision from behind the scenes. I'm Director James Morrison, and tonight I'm presenting classified evidence that proves Obama operates a shadow government more powerful than the actual presidency. What I'm about to reveal will expose the greatest constitutional fraud in American history. What I'm about to expose will shock every American who believes we live under constitutional government with legitimate elections and democratic transitions of power. For over 4 years, I've investigated reports of unusual coordination between the Obama operation and the Biden administration. Tonight, I'm presenting classified intelligence that proves Barack Obama never relinquished power and has been operating an illegal third presidential term through the Biden administration, while avoiding constitutional limitations and democratic accountability. The evidence comes from classified intelligence reports, intercepted communications, and insider testimony from government officials who refuse to participate in the constitutional fraud being perpetrated against the American people. This isn't about partisan politics. This is about the systematic destruction of constitutional government through a shadow operation that maintains power while avoiding the legal and democratic constraints that define American democracy. Barack Obama's Washington, D.C. compound serves as the operational headquarters for a shadow government that controls the Biden administration through a network of Obama loyalists embedded throughout the federal government. Intelligence surveillance of Obama's Kalorama residence reveals unprecedented security measures, communication equipment, and daily meetings with senior Biden administration officials that indicate operational control rather than social visits. Dr. Sarah Mitchell, who worked as a communications analyst for the National Security Agency, documented systematic encrypted communications between Obama's compound and the White House that bypassed normal government communication channels. Mitchell preserved evidence showing that major Biden administration policy decisions are coordinated through Obama's private communication network before being announced through official White House channels. The Obama compound operates with security and communication capabilities that rival the official White House, including secure communication facilities, intelligence briefing capabilities, and coordination centers that manage government operations. Mitchell's analysis shows that Obama receives the same intelligence briefings as the official president, participates in policy development meetings through secure video connections, and coordinates with cabinet officials outside normal government channels. The compound's operational capabilities demonstrate that Obama maintains presidential-level control over government operations while avoiding the constitutional accountability and oversight that applies to the official presidency. When Mitchell attempted to report unauthorized government communications through Obama's private network, she was told that monitoring former presidents could compromise national security and result in prosecution for unauthorized surveillance. Joe Biden serves as a figurehead president whose public appearances and statements are carefully managed by Obama operatives who control all substantive decision-making behind the scenes. Agent Michael Foster, who worked in White House security operations, documented how Biden's daily schedule, public appearances, and decision-making processes are managed by Obama operatives embedded within the Biden administration. Foster preserved evidence showing that Biden receives daily briefings and instructions from Obama representatives who coordinate his activities and provide talking points for all public appearances. The Biden operation includes comprehensive script management, handler coordination, and damage control systems designed to maintain the appearance of presidential competence while ensuring Obama operatives retain actual control. Foster documented how Biden's public statements are pre-approved by Obama representatives, his policy positions are coordinated with Obama's political objectives, and his administration personnel decisions are made by Obama operatives. The puppet operation is so comprehensive that Biden's spontaneous comments and off-script remarks are immediately corrected or clarified by Obama-controlled White House staff to ensure consistency with Obama's policy agenda. When Foster attempted to expose the extent of external control over presidential operations, he was transferred to a non-sensitive position and warned that discussing White House operations could violate security protocols. Obama has placed loyalists throughout the Biden administration in key positions that allow comprehensive control over government operations while maintaining the appearance of independent administration. Dr. Jennifer Walsh, who worked in government personnel security, documented how Obama operatives were systematically placed in senior positions throughout the Biden administration during the transition period. Walsh preserved evidence showing that personnel decisions for the Biden administration were coordinated through Obama's network rather than through normal transition processes, ensuring Obama loyalists controlled key government functions. The infiltration network operates through a dual loyalty system where Biden administration officials officially serve the Biden presidency while actually reporting to and receiving direction from Obama operatives. Walsh documented how these embedded operatives participate in regular coordination meetings with Obama representatives, receive policy guidance from Obama's team, and report on Biden administration activities to Obama's shadow operation. The network includes operatives in the National Security Council, cabinet departments, intelligence agencies, and White House staff who ensure Obama maintains control over all significant government operations. When Walsh attempted to investigate unauthorized coordination between current government officials and former administration personnel, she was told that such investigations could interfere with legitimate political activities. All major Biden administration policies are developed, reviewed, and approved through Obama's shadow government before being implemented through official White House channels. Colonel Robert Hayes, who worked in government policy coordination, documented how major policy initiatives originate from Obama's operation and are transmitted to Biden administration officials for implementation. Hayes preserved communications showing that climate policy, economic regulations, foreign policy decisions, and domestic initiatives are developed by Obama's team and provided to Biden officials as predetermined directives. The policy coordination mechanism ensures that no significant government action occurs without approval from Obama's shadow operation, effectively making Obama the decision-making authority for the Biden administration. Hayes documented how Biden administration officials regularly seek approval from Obama representatives before announcing policies, making personnel decisions, or responding to crisis situations. The approval system operates outside normal government channels and constitutional oversight, allowing Obama to exercise presidential authority without constitutional accountability or democratic constraints. When Hayes attempted to expose unauthorized policy coordination, he was told that investigating former presidents could compromise national security and interfere with legitimate political activities. Obama maintains direct access to classified intelligence and coordinates with intelligence agency leadership through networks of loyalists who provide information and operational support for the shadow government. Agent Lisa Park, who worked in intelligence community coordination, documented how Obama continues to receive classified intelligence briefings through unofficial channels that bypass normal former president protocols. Park preserved evidence showing that Obama operatives within intelligence agencies provide regular briefings, classified assessments, and operational intelligence that supports shadow government decision-making. The intelligence coordination includes advance warning about investigations, political intelligence about opponents, and operational support for shadow government activities that require intelligence community capabilities. Park documented how intelligence agencies coordinate with Obama's operation to provide information about domestic political activities, foreign policy developments, and security threats that affect shadow government planning. The intelligence support system allows Obama to maintain presidential-level situational awareness and operational capabilities without official authority or constitutional oversight. When Park attempted to report unauthorized intelligence sharing with former government officials, she was told that intelligence relationships were classified and discussing them could constitute unauthorized disclosure. Obama's shadow government coordinates with major media organizations to control public narratives, suppress negative coverage, and promote policies through sophisticated information warfare operations. Marcus Rodriguez, who worked as a media liaison for government agencies, documented systematic coordination between Obama operatives and major news organizations to control coverage of the Biden administration. Rodriguez preserved communications, showing that news coverage is coordinated with Obama's political objectives. Negative stories about Biden administration failures are suppressed, and positive narratives about Obama's legacy are promoted. The media coordination includes providing talking points to journalists, coordinating interview opportunities for Obama allies, and suppressing investigative reporting that might expose shadow government operations. Rodriguez documented how media organizations receive guidance from Obama operatives about which stories to emphasize, which sources to quote, and which narratives to promote or suppress. The coordination ensures that public perception of the Biden administration supports Obama's political objectives while hiding evidence of shadow government control. When Rodriguez attempted to expose media coordination with political operatives, he was told that discussing media relationships could compromise government communication capabilities. Obama's shadow government conducts independent foreign policy operations that often contradict or undermine official Biden administration foreign policy decisions. Dr. Patricia Williams, who worked in State Department coordination, documented how Obama operatives maintain independent relationships with foreign governments and conduct diplomatic activities outside official channels. Williams preserved evidence showing that foreign governments receive conflicting signals from official Biden administration representatives and Obama's shadow diplomatic network. The shadow foreign policy operation includes coordination with international organizations, foreign intelligence services, and global political networks that support Obama's international agenda regardless of official U.S. policy. Williams documented how Obama's international network influences foreign government responses to Biden administration policies, creating confusion about actual U.S. foreign policy positions. The parallel diplomacy undermines official U.S. foreign policy while advancing Obama's personal political and ideological objectives through unauthorized international coordination. When Williams attempted to report unauthorized diplomatic activities, she was told that monitoring former presidents' international activities could compromise diplomatic relationships and national security. Obama's shadow government operates through a sophisticated financial network that funds operations, supports loyalists, and coordinates with donors and organizations that advance shadow government objectives. Agent David Chen, who worked in financial intelligence, documented how Obama's shadow operation receives funding through a network of donors, foundations, and organizations that coordinate financial support for shadow government activities. Chen preserved evidence showing systematic financial coordination between Obama operatives and wealthy donors who fund political activities, media operations, and organizational support for shadow government objectives. The financial network provides resources for shadow government operations, including personnel compensation, communication systems, intelligence gathering, and political activities that support Obama's control over government policy. Chen documented how shadow government funding operates outside normal campaign finance and political contribution regulations, allowing unlimited financial support for unauthorized government activities. The financial coordination ensures that Obama's shadow operation has resources that rival or exceed official government capabilities while avoiding transparency and accountability requirements. When Chen attempted to investigate unauthorized political financing, he was told that financial investigations of former presidents could interfere with legitimate political activities and constitutional rights. Obama's shadow government coordinates crisis response and damage control for the Biden administration, while ensuring that crisis management serves Obama's political objectives rather than national interests. Dr. Amanda Foster, who worked in emergency management coordination, documented how major crisis responses are coordinated through Obama's shadow operation before being implemented through official Biden administration channels. Foster preserved evidence showing that responses to economic crises, international conflicts, domestic emergencies, and political scandals are developed by Obama's team and provided to Biden officials for implementation. The crisis management system includes comprehensive damage control operations that protect Obama's political interests while managing public perception of Biden administration competence and effectiveness. Foster documented how crisis responses are designed to advance Obama's political agenda while minimizing damage to his legacy and future political objectives. The crisis coordination ensures that even emergency situations serve Obama's political interests rather than focusing primarily on national welfare and public safety. When Foster attempted to expose external control over emergency management, she was told that crisis coordination involved classified information that could not be discussed outside secure channels. Obama's shadow government coordinates with election officials, political organizations, and vote management systems to ensure electoral outcomes that maintain shadow government control. Agent Jennifer Hayes, who worked in election security, documented systematic coordination between Obama operatives and election management organizations in key states and localities. Hayes preserved evidence showing that election procedures, vote counting systems, and electoral outcome management are coordinated with Obama's political objectives rather than focusing on election integrity. The election coordination includes long-term planning for maintaining shadow government control through future elections and political transitions that ensure Obama's network retains power regardless of official electoral outcomes. Hayes documented how electoral strategies are coordinated with Obama's shadow operation to identify, support, and install political candidates who will maintain shadow government access and control. The succession planning ensures that Obama's shadow government will continue operating through future administrations by placing loyalists in positions where they can maintain unofficial control over government operations. When Hayes attempted to investigate political coordination with election processes, she was told that election investigations required special authorization and could not be conducted without extraordinary justification. Obama's shadow government operates in systematic violation of constitutional principles, including presidential term limits, democratic accountability, and separation of powers. Constitutional scholars argue that Obama's shadow government operation constitutes an illegal third presidential term that violates the 22nd Amendment's two-term limitation for presidents. The shadow government exercises presidential authority without constitutional authorization, democratic election, or legal accountability, representing a fundamental violation of democratic governance. Obama's shadow operation avoids congressional oversight, judicial review, and democratic accountability while exercising government authority through unofficial channels and embedded loyalists. The system allows Obama to maintain presidential-level power without constitutional constraints, congressional oversight, or democratic accountability that normally limit presidential authority. Constitutional government requires elected officials to exercise authority within legal and democratic constraints, making shadow government operations incompatible with constitutional democracy. Obama's shadow government creates serious national security vulnerabilities by dividing government authority between official and unofficial power centers with potentially conflicting objectives. The existence of parallel government authority creates confusion about who actually controls national security decisions, military operations, and intelligence activities during crisis situations. Foreign governments and intelligence services exploit the division between official and shadow government authority to manipulate U.S. policy responses and gain strategic advantages. Obama's access to classified information through unofficial channels creates security vulnerabilities and potential for unauthorized disclosure of sensitive intelligence to support shadow government political objectives. The shadow government's intelligence access operates outside normal security protocols and oversight mechanisms, creating risks of foreign intelligence penetration and manipulation. Obama's shadow government represents the systematic destruction of democratic governance through unauthorized exercise of government authority outside constitutional constraints. The shadow government's ability to maintain power regardless of electoral outcomes demonstrates that democratic elections have been rendered meaningless by unauthorized government control systems. American voters cannot exercise democratic choice when shadow government operations ensure policy continuity regardless of who appears to win elections. Obama's shadow government demonstrates how democratic institutions can be captured and controlled by political networks that operate outside legal and constitutional constraints. The capture of government institutions by shadow operations eliminates the possibility of democratic reform through normal political processes and electoral competition. Obama's shadow government continues to expand its control over U.S. government operations while preparing for long-term continuation regardless of future electoral outcomes. Current intelligence indicates that Obama's shadow operation has increased its penetration of government institutions and expanded its coordination with international organizations and foreign governments. The shadow government has developed capabilities that rival or exceed official government operations while maintaining secrecy and avoiding democratic accountability. Obama's network is actively preparing for the 2024 election cycle with plans to maintain shadow government control regardless of electoral outcomes through embedded loyalists and captured institutions. The preparation includes coordination with election management systems, media organizations, and legal institutions that will ensure shadow government continuity. Despite systematic infiltration, patriotic Americans within government and military institutions are working to expose and resist Obama's shadow government operations. Courageous Americans within government institutions are documenting shadow government activities, preserving evidence, and providing intelligence to patriotic networks outside government control. These patriots understand that constitutional government cannot survive while shadow operations exercise unauthorized authority outside democratic accountability. Independent patriotic organizations are developing strategies for exposing shadow government operations and restoring constitutional authority to elected officials who serve within legal and democratic constraints. Constitutional restoration requires citizen action to demand transparency, accountability, and legal compliance from government officials and eliminate unauthorized shadow operations. Obama's shadow government operations violate multiple federal laws, including those governing former presidents, government communications, and unauthorized exercise of government authority. Legal experts argue that Obama's shadow government activities constitute criminal violations of laws governing former presidents, unauthorized government operations, and conspiracy to defraud the United States. The shadow government's operations include wire fraud, conspiracy, violation of government communication laws, and unauthorized exercise of government authority. Traditional law enforcement agencies have been compromised by shadow government infiltration, making prosecution of Obama's criminal activities difficult through normal legal channels. Constitutional justice requires independent investigation and prosecution that operates outside captured government institutions and political protection networks. Obama's shadow government has compromised American sovereignty and independence by creating vulnerabilities to foreign manipulation and control. International organizations and foreign governments coordinate with Obama's shadow operation to influence U.S. policy decisions and advance foreign interests over American national interests. The shadow government's international coordination compromises American sovereignty and creates dependencies on foreign political and financial networks. Obama's shadow government advances globalist political objectives that subordinate American interests to international organizations and foreign political movements. The shadow operation ensures that U.S. government policy serves international rather than American interests, regardless of democratic elections or constitutional requirements. America faces a choice between restoring constitutional government or accepting permanent rule by Obama's shadow government that operates outside democratic accountability. The evidence I've presented tonight proves that Barack Obama continues to exercise presidential authority through an illegal shadow government that controls the Biden administration. Traditional democratic and legal institutions have been captured by shadow government operations and cannot provide constitutional accountability or democratic choice. Constitutional government can only be restored through citizen action that demands transparency, accountability, and legal compliance from government officials while eliminating unauthorized shadow operations. Every American must choose between accepting rule by an illegal shadow government or demanding restoration of constitutional democracy and legal accountability. Barack Obama never left office. He's been running an illegal third term through the Biden administration while avoiding constitutional constraints and democratic accountability. His shadow government controls all major policy decisions, coordinates with foreign governments, and maintains power through networks of embedded loyalists who serve Obama rather than the American people. I've presented classified evidence proving that your government is controlled by unauthorized shadow operations that violate constitutional law and democratic principles. The Obama shadow government continues to expand its control while preparing to maintain power regardless of future electoral outcomes. Every day this illegal operation continues, American constitutional government moves closer to permanent destruction by shadow operatives who serve personal and political interests rather than democratic principles. Constitutional democracy will only survive if Americans demand accountability for the shadow government operations that have captured their institutions and stolen their democratic choice. This is Director James Morrison. Barack Obama is still your president through shadow government operations that violate everything America stands for. The question is, what are you going to do to restore constitutional government?